we're live. Hello, hello, hello. Let me just. Oh, I forget every time I tab out. That's what causes this to happen. Can I? There we go. Alright. Finally back for more Katawa Shoujo. Hold on a sec. Don't need that. Hello, my dear. Okay, and if I pause, come on. Come back for me. There we go. Oh, it has been a wee while. Should preface, I don't know how long I'll be able to go on this stream because I feel I've got the starting of like a cold, possibly something that's sort of like getting. I suppose it might be something from getting back to like helping out at the toddler group. But yeah, I don't. I just don't know if I'm talking for too long, if I might need to take a break sooner than usual. But yeah, today we'll be starting on Hanako's route. Should be fairly easy to get onto. Easy to get sick when you're. Yeah, that's what I like, especially because this is like just after the summer, so I've kind of been away from them for a while. Plus, maybe it didn't help that I was in planes for a long time last Sunday. Which I know it's very easy to get sick as well when you're on a plane. So I'll start the skips again. Yeah, down travel. Yeah, so I suppose I'm kind of in a. I've kind of in that situation where it's not surprising that I've caught a little something. Okay, for getting onto Hanako's route, should I go up to Y? Like maybe set up Hisao as being a little more like asocial? Or is that what I don't want to do? Because it was like all three routes well, technically four routes. I've never picked this one. Sure, why not? I'll try. Why? Do I have to? Of course not. That's why I asked. Right. Let's go then. My heart is pounding in my chest, and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. Don't. Oh, did I make a mistake already? I think I should be able to, like, back out of it. Do I have a decision that early? Maybe I can recover. Alrighty, we'll see then. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as the classroom for class 3-3. Muto opens the door and enters. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. I get a grip. This is a big step, I know that, but there isn't any point to worrying so much about it, at least not this soon. So is this all stuff we've seen before? Oh. After the applause, there is a brief silence that nobody seems to want to be responsible for breaking. I do still appreciate how like all of the characters like do like look unique in their own way still in the classroom. Even though you only meet, I think, 3 of them. When you use the guide to get to none of them mentioned it. Okay, so it's just a not necessary choice at all. The teacher soon realizes that he should probably say something. He opens up with some unintelligible noise, shuts up as he loses his momentum, and then starts introducing me. Nobody seems to be too interested. Maybe I should have said yes to the self... Apparently I should have said yes to the self-introduction. Probably realizing he doesn't know anything about me, he just ends up saying my name wrong again, and asks me to write it on the blackboard. I do that and turn back to face the class, feeling awkward. I listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps on this round, with her one hand against her other wrist that ends in a bandaged stump. It makes me feel a little bad. Okay, and now we're back to... Oh. In the game tells you should... I'm trying to figure this out. Misha looks at me with a weird expression, then continues. We don't know much about him, but maybe we'll find out later. Maybe I should have introduced myself after. Okay, the game like really driving this in. Like maybe you should have. You picked the wrong option right off the bat. Anything would have given a better first impression than the teacher's drone and fumbling with my name. We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you'd be here today. Today? So soon. Hit-chan, right? Hit-chan? What a jerk, refused. Oh. Okay, this is like... This one like has to be the library, right? Feels kind of bad that there's not like a recovery kind of like when he realizes how bad Muto's doing a job of. It's kind of like raise your hand. Kind of, no, I can do this myself. Go to the library, be nice to Hanako. Hello, nurse. Who I still think the nurse deserves a name. But be careful when approaching her? Okay. Does this choice matter? Do I play defensively or aggressively against Shizune? Give me a sec. So, part of me wonders, like, how... I'm trying... So I haven't done Shizune's route. But I've still picked both options, so I kind of wonder if it makes a difference. Aggressively? Already? Zoom on through. Hello, Lily. Okay. Okay, so when you say be nice to Hanako, is that like going like, hi, I'm new here, we're in the same... It's probably a bad choice not to introduce yourself to say. Yeah, I get it. The game has already made that clear that I made the wrong choice. Let's see if I can recover. Gently. There's not an option to... I would assume the I'm sorry I didn't mean to startle you is... I'm so okay. Okay, I was just curious because this is I've never picked the other one, so I always wondered if that's the one that... Oh, the prologue. Oh, this is talking about. Okay, this is about Hanako. Just because you haven't picked it doesn't mean that's the right choice. I get it. So this is. She was cute again? I'm assuming this is the right one. And part of me, I kind of, part of me assumes that it's pretty similar to like going for Lily's route to get on Hanako's, because I kind of remember towards the end of Lily's route we did have just a moment where we seemed to be able to just straight up choose between like looking for Lily or looking for Hanako when it came to the fair, the cultural festival even. Oh, I think that's the right choice. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose. What to do? Go talk with Hanako? I'm going to. I'm going to imagine we talked. We talked to her. It's hard to build a relationship without talking to someone. Okay, this seems right. Oh. And there's Rin. And I promise to be more serious about this from now on. Yes? Alrighty. Oh. Okay, I don't. I feel it's probably still best to like side with Lily on this because Lily and Hanako do get along really well. Oh yeah, this is when we help with making the banner. Take it easy. Don't compete with Emmy again. Okay, this one I'm definitely a little not so confident on. So this was, yeah, Lily noticing our health. Do we not really want to talk about it? Hmm. I probably got to save down again. I'm gonna go with the choices I have picked, like the similar ones that kept me on Lily's route for now, just because I'm. Okay, this seems like a choice that probably makes them say the sorry. Oh, I made a wrong choice again already. No, no. How far off am I now, I wonder? Uh, Oh, so here... Here the choice I feel is definitely go to the library, because that tends to be where Hanako is. The library seems as good a place as any to go. Hanako looked as if she was taken pretty off guard by Lily leaving, so she might want someone to talk to. Slinging my bag over my shoulder, I make my way out of the classroom. I walk down the hallway to the library, past a multitude of closed doors. Through each one, the sound of furious rehearsal can be heard. Rock music blares out of one door, almost as loud as a concert. I guess that's one of the advantages of a private school. There are actually enough rooms to go around at a time like this. And when I think about it, the grounds and buildings of the school are kept in pretty good condition. That can't be too cheap. I've heard that this place has some pretty serious benefactors. The walls of the library only partially insulate the noise of the festival preparations, but they're the only sounds to be heard. Not a soul stirs here, with everyone apparently enjoying the weather outside or working on festival events. Yuko isn't here either. Maybe she doesn't work on Saturdays. I quietly walk through the library, now fairly familiar with its layout. I head to the back where Hanako's private little corner is. I run my hand along the spines of the books on the way through, feeling the individual texture of each as I glance across the titles. I used to do this all the time at the library and the hospital. Some things never change, I guess. Like the smell of a library. No matter how much care you take, the paper and books is always going to degrade with time. Probably, no matter which library you go into, anywhere in the world, it must have that same musty smell. I find something that looks light enough to read without any major thought involved, then look for Hanako in the reading area. Once again, she is sitting on a beanbag with her back to the bookshelf, reading the same book she'd had in the classroom. She's slowly making her way through the pages. Unlike last time I saw her here, I quietly take a seat in a beanbag. The noise is enough to catch her attention, but not startle her. This delicate routine that must be followed each and every time I try to talk to her almost feels like hunting game. Is that the same book as before? Yes. I'm almost finished. Cool. I wonder if I should... Do you mind if I borrow it when you're finished? My mouth is faster than my mind, it seems. Sure. You may not like it, but... I'm sure it can't be that bad. After all, you've stuck with it, haven't you? Yes. I settle into my beanbag and set about reading my own book that had been buried in my bag. It's a light novel about pirates. To be honest, I'm barely skimming over the words, having chosen the book merely because it belongs to a different genre than I usually read. Finding it hard to muster enough enthusiasm to finish the book, and noting that I've inadvertently distracted Hanako quite a bit, I decide to try and make conversation. So, I see Lily left without you. Just immediately bring that up. She nods before taking her eyes off her book. She must have been really into it after all. Lily said she had to go and meet someone. Oh? Akira, her sister. Sister? I haven't heard her talk about her family. She and Akira used to live together. I thought all the students lived in the dorms. We don't have to. But it's easier, right? I mean, there's food here and you're close to school. I don't think I've ever been to class on time so often in my life. Her badly hidden smile proves quite rewarding. In the back of my mind, I know I have a bit of homework to catch up on, but it's quite comfortable in here. And no one can find me and force me to work into their pet project either. Though, now that I'm thinking about the festival, another question comes up. Excuse me? Hey, Hanako, what are you doing for the festival? For a split second, I think that Hanako is about to throw her book in the air from shock. Sorry? I was just asking what you're doing for the festival tomorrow. Anything planned? I don't know. Hanako answers in the way that people do when they don't really want you to ask any more questions. I take it large crowds and loud music aren't really her thing. Oh, okay. Change the subject, change the subject. So, what's Lily's sister like? She's nice. She's pretty like Lily, but she dresses businesslike. Businesslike? She's always wearing a suit. Ah, I see. And that makes her less pretty somehow? Hanako gives an embarrassed shake of her head. No, just different. I'll admit it, this has got me intrigued. To hear Hanako talk about someone other than Lily is a first, and to be complimentary about it too. But as I try to picture this mystery sister, all I can think of is Lily in a suit. And I can't imagine that not being attractive. Not at all. Oh, one day you'll have to introduce me to her. Okay. Our brief conversation ends as abruptly as it started, and we both return to our novels. The passage of time is marked only by the gradual movement of the patch of light cast through the windows. Slowly, the noises from the various rehearsals in the building fade out and die as students start to get hungry and tired. Just thinking about that makes my stomach start to turn knots around itself. I think it's time to head back. Do you think Lily would be back by now? I think I might head back to my dorm. I'm pretty tired from this week. And not a word of that is a lie. Moving to a new school as it ramps up for a major event has been taxing, to say the least. I can feel myself nodding off as I read my book. Oh, okay. I might stay here a little longer. Looking at Hanako's book, I can see that she is only a few pages away from completing it. For a moment, I consider hanging around until she finishes, but once again my stomach turns, emitting a gurgling sound. Excuse me? Sure thing. Well, I'm gonna go head off before it gets dark. I'll see you around, okay? Okay. See you, Isao. Later. Isao? Thank you for hanging out with me. I can see how hard it was for her to get that simple sentence out of her mouth. It leaves me hanging for a moment. So, there is someone in this school who's even lonelier than me. Maybe lonely is the wrong word. I haven't been lagging company for this first week, but I've still managed to feel somewhat alone and detached. Yep, being alone and being lonely are very different things. Maybe lonely is a wrong word for Hanako too. I can barely hear you and I do Hanako. Okay, I will try and speak up a bit more. Oh, excuse me. I realize I've been standing there far too long without answering and pull off a flawless, not too exaggerated smile. You're welcome. Good night, Hanako. Night. I leave her to finish her book and head back to the dorms in the promise of food. Okay, new day. Okay, so back to usual. Oh, this is the day already. Oh. Oh wait, did I? I feel I've done something wrong. At least I'm not on Kenji's route. On top of her issues with her stall, she still seems to be worried about Hanako. I can't really help her with the former, so I guess the only way I can help is by trying to take her mind off our shy mutual friend. Placing the bowl back on the counter, I call out to Lily. Hey, Lily? Don't worry about Hanako. I'll go find her and hang out with her, okay? I can see Lily's relief plainly written across her face. Thanks, Hisao. And if you see anyone from my class, can you tell them to come back here, please? Yeah, I was just a little cautious because I think I thought I remembered in Lily's route Hisao getting a choice between like looking for Hanako and looking for Lily first. But I wonder if I'm kind of like just like maybe I didn't get enough points for Lily to be an option. Will do. Have a good one, and make sure you take a break, okay? I will if I can. See you later, Hisao. I leave Lily in the stall and head out in search of Hanako. In a way, I feel bad for leaving her with the crowds, but even though she was clearly under pressure, I can't help but think that she is enjoying herself. No choice for that, the festival basically shows to her. Okay. I'm trying to remember then what I'm trying to think like what it is I'm remembering. The halls are packed with swaying crowds meandering throughout the festival. If there's one thing I know about Hanako, it's that she's not going to be anywhere near this. And with the students showing their friends and family their dorms, I doubt she'll be there either. Following blind intuition, I move against the grain of the crowd. So, options. I don't know if the library will have escaped the crowds, but maybe the rooftop? Though the rooftop could still have the noise. Thankfully, this crowd seems to be slightly less festive than your usual festival crowd. I assume this is out of consideration for the student body. As I force my way through the masses, it doesn't take long for them to thin down into nothingness. This is not surprising, since I'm standing before the library. Oh no, library. Even the most eager students don't bother to show anyone this section of the school. As I enter the library, the noise of the festival fades into a dull background noise, and soon I'm in the reading area at the rear of the room. Behind one of the partitioned desks, I see the top of a head, with straight dark hair catching my eye. Hey, Hanako. I had a feeling I'd find you here. The head jumps a little in shock before slowly peeping over the partition. Hisao? Hey, Lily's pretty busy, so she sent me to find you. Oh, do you want to sit down? Actually, I'm feeling a little hungry. Would you like to get something to eat from one of the stands? I brought some food, so... I shouldn't be surprised, but it was worth a try. Expecting her to go outside today was a long shot. How about we eat in the tea room? I passed by on the way here and no one was around. We can make some food there and it'll be a little more comfortable. What do you say? Sure. Let's go. Hanako closes her book and puts it away with deliberate, practiced movements. Good to go? Yeah. We walk side by side from the library to the tea room. As expected, there's barely a soul around. If it weren't for the murmurs through the walls, you wouldn't tell that there was a huge festival going on outside. Hanako carries her bag in both hands and focuses on just the floor ahead of her. Every now and again, she seems to break her pace a little and steps in slightly shorter paces. The first time it happened, I gave it no mind, but I soon noticed that she does it on a regular basis. Are you alright? She stops dead in her tracks. What? I dunno, it looked like you were tripping or something. A pink blush rises into her cheeks as her gaze returns to the floor. It's nothing. You know, when you say nothing like that, people are inspired to ask further questions. For a second, I don't think she is going to answer. Prepared to leave it be, I almost set off walking again when... It's a game. Game? Do you see the floor here? What a bizarre question. The floor looks like any other floor, covered in those tiles made up from squares of linoleum. Oh. I think I know the sort of game Hanako's talking about. I know sometimes, like, when I'm just, like, pacing around the kitchen and such, I kind of always... I'll do little things like that where I can only move, like, I can't stand on the gaps between tiles, and I have to, like, only move, like, diagonally across them. Nothing noteworthy. Well, yes. What about it? Sometimes, when there's no one around, I only step on the darker ones. Hanako's voice trails off as her explanation continues until I can barely hear her voice over the roaring silence of the empty hall. Darker ones? Shuffling her feet, Hanako points the toe of her shoe at a tile that is barely a shade darker than the others. Like these ones. Oh, right. So, these ones are no good? I point out a nearby tile. Yeah. Something like that. Oh, I see. Do you play this game a lot? Hanako shakes her head. Just when the halls are empty? She nods. Well then, no point in stopping. I'm beginning to get really hungry. She nods again, this time with a little more enthusiasm. Well then, let's go. We set off down the hall, and this time I noticed that Hanako is paying a little less attention to the floor. I wonder, just how lonely does someone have to be to come up with a... Don't call me out like that, peace out. But before I realize what I'm doing, I find myself trying to aim each step so it lands on the correct tiles. The noise of the festival is slightly louder inside the tea room, but the breeze coming through the open window makes it worth it. Without thinking, I walk to the windowsill and inhale deeply. I sometimes forget how clean the air is here compared to back home. Would you like some tea? That would be great, thanks. It occurs to me that this is the first time I've been alone with Hanako without her trying to be somewhere else. I mean, just yesterday you had that chat with her in the library where she was happy enough just to sit and read. Oh, oops. Turning from the window, I watch as she makes a simple pot of tea and arranges some sandwiches onto a plate. I've seen her do this a number of times, but this time she seems slightly different. It's like she's calm. Eventually, she places the small tray on the table and pours 2 cups of tea. The fresh scent of brewed tea mingles with the breeze, and for a second, I feel like I'm the only one in the world. I think I know why you like this room now. I don't know what you mean. Well, there are quite a few people out there, but in here it's like another world. You can pretend there's no one around for miles. You're right. It's like the world has forgotten this room. And because of that, you can forget about the outside. That would be appealing in some cases. As far as I can tell, conventional bullying doesn't exist in this school. But then again, I haven't seen a single person talk to Hanako besides Lily. If you're ignored by the world, a place where you can forget its existence would hold a special appeal. That's a good point. It's like this room gives you some kind of complete freedom. Yeah. Say, do you play chess? Chess? I've played it a bit, I guess. I take it you've played before? A little. That's a lie, from what I know. From what I remember about Lily's route. Without saying anything more, Hanako moves to one of the cupboards and digs out a small chess set. Do you want... Excuse me? Sure, why not? I cut her off, but she doesn't seem to mind it. We arrange the pieces, and before long we are sending pawns charging to their inevitable fates. I take my time and intently examine each move and its consequences. Nostalgia for the game taking second place to the matters at hand. For a time, the game is a lengthy battle of attrition, but I spot an opening and tear a line in her defense. Oh. The time to say I dabble here and there you. Yeah, I just remember Hisao being like kind of surprised by how good she was in Lily's route. A few moves later, her king is cornered by several of my pieces. Checkmate. You're not bad at this, are you? An honest appraisal. Her technique is pretty good, but several times I was able to exploit her lack of prediction. I pick up a piece and examine it. It looks relatively new, yet worn for its age. I guess not. Does Lily play? The absence of Hanako's answer causes me to think about my question. A bit. This is the first time I've played against someone other than her, or... She cuts herself off abruptly, leaving the answer hanging in the air. Someone she knew before coming to Yamaku, maybe? Okay. I suppose that's maybe something, though. If you only play against, like, one person regularly, you maybe aren't used to, like, dealing with other tactics. Well then, I'm honored to have played against you. Can we play again? She asks as if she were asking me to cut off my own hands. The spirit of competition's gotten into her? Sure, though. Don't expect me to go easy on you this time. Not that I was before, mind. She seems to appreciate the competitive tone. Same here. As we were setting up the pieces, there was a noise at the door. Oh, hello, Lily. Good afternoon. Lily. Oh, hey there, Lily. Are you finished? You both are here. Wonderful. At any rate, our teacher managed to round up some extra help, so I was able to leave. Have you been here since you left? Pretty much. We've just been playing a bit of chess. Would you like a cup of tea? Actually, I think it may be a good idea to go outside for a little while. The instant drop in Hanako's face shows her objection to this plan, even though she says nothing. I feel strangely compelled to voice what is plainly in view on her face, but Lily can't see. I kind of think that we should just stay here. Really? It's so crowded here that I was thinking we should leave the school and head for the local tea house. Oh, okay, that's a clarification that could have been done with earlier, Lily. You mean the Shanghai? Of course. With everyone at the festival, it should be practically empty. Tea house? Oh, that's right. You probably don't know of it. There's a tea house not far from here, which we go to every so often. Sounds like a plan. Hanako, what do you think? Hanako jumps a little at being forced into the conversation, but at least she seems less distraught than before. If it's to Shanghai, I think it'll be nice. Well then, it's settled. Let's be on our way. Hanako and I rise from the table in our preempted chess game. Before I can do anything, Hanako has poured the pieces into a small container and placed the board away. Looks like we're ready now. Please, lead on. Hanako moves to Lily's side and we venture onto the school's corridors. The pair leads me through a series of unfamiliar doors and we emerge on the side of the building opposite of the festival grounds. Insulated by the heavy stone of the building, the noise from the crowd has faded to a murmur. First excited and down. She's so... Yeah. It's like, I don't want to go outside. Can we just have another day in? Strange. I thought that most people would be beginning to leave by now. They're probably here to view the fireworks. Fireworks? Yes. Apparently, the school puts on quite a show. A lot of people come from town just to watch them. Lily's decision to leave the school grounds seems to make sense now. Hanako would probably have a hard time with the whole town descending onto the school, or ascending as the case may be. For the second time since arriving at Yamaku, I find myself walking down this road with Lily. Only now that I can barely hear the incessant noise of the festival, I realize how loud it was. I can hear my ears ringing slightly in the still evening air as they recover from the day's assault on them. Hanako clings to Lily, but still manages to guide her along the road. That, and avoiding the occasional gaze from curious pedestrians, appears to completely sap her constitution. Oh. She rarely raises her focus from the ground in front of her, nor does she utter a word. Lily, on the other hand, maintains her prim and proper persona just as she does in school. It's obvious she purposely puts effort into her appearance, rather than hiding it as Hanako does. It's striking how different they are in their way of holding themselves outside of Yamaku's grounds. That said, it's obvious in both their cases that they do visibly change. Inside Yamaku, everyone is special, which negates the specialness of it. But once we venture outside the school gates, we are returned to the status of outsider and generic labels. Especially when we are still in school uniform. It's like hanging a sign around your neck, challenging people to figure out what is wrong with you. I'm surprised that so many of the students keep it on. Then again, with canes and wheelchairs common among the students, I guess it's not really that much of a giveaway. Or maybe I'm the only one that sees this as a stigma? Maybe you get used to it after a time, like any other school uniform. The tea house seems fairly standard from the outside, just an ordinary building with typical signs decorating the entrance. It looks like the type of place you'd walk by without a thought, just another generic cafe in a sea of thousands. If Hanako hadn't steered Lily into the entrance, I would have continued on down the road without ever knowing it existed. Inside the tea house, it takes on a more traditional feel. Everything seems to have been made from the same lump of timber, from the counter and benches to the high-backed booths around the wall. But the most striking feature of the room is the lack of life. I think I can faintly hear something bubbling away in the background, but otherwise the room is silent. Without any direction, we simply wait near the entrance, politely obeying the "please wait to be seated" sign. Is this place closed or something? Oh, the sound of a chair falling over echoes throughout the empty room, and a head shoots up from inside a booth. I wasn't asleep, and welcome to Shanghai. Yuko, dressed in a pastel apron and clutching a menu, rushes to greet us. Her misaligned glasses and ruffled hair cast suspicion on her previous statement. But whether she was asleep or not isn't the first question that leaps to my mind. You work here now? What happened to the library? What? Lily? Iso? Welcome to Shanghai. Yuko, still waking up, jerks into a violent bow, dislodging her glasses in the process. Oh, I think this is the first time we've seen her without her glasses. My glasses. As I pick her spectacles off the floor, Lily offers an explanation. Yuko works here part-time as well as at the library. It's one of the reasons we like to come here. Yuko takes her glasses from my hands, shakily putting them back on. Yes, that's right. Thanks. Oh boy. Shall I show you to your table? There's no one else here, so you can choose your table and order whatever you like. But there may be a delay as I will have to make it myself. It's alright, Yuko. Just a pot of black tea and a plate of sandwiches will be fine. Right, I'll get right onto that. Yuko hurries off to the back of the cafe, leaving us still standing at the entrance. She pushes the swinging half doors open before realizing that she hasn't seated us. I'm sorry. Please, sit wherever you like. I'll be right back. Following her advice, I lead Lily to the nearest booth as Hanako follows. As I begin to sit next to Lily, I realize how appropriate this place is for Hanako. The high-backed booths totally separate you from the rest of the room, and it doesn't look like it gets all that many customers. All of the furnishings, from the cushions on the benches to the condiment holders, look dated but aren't overly worn. I wonder if Lily deliberately selects places like this to take Hanako. She seems like the type that would go to lengths to cater to Hanako's unique predicament. So, Hisao, I didn't know you played chess. Well, not very well, but I do know how to play. I suppose the obvious question would now be, who won? Lily's innocent smile makes me hesitate. I don't really want to look like I'm lording my victory over Hanako. Hisao did. Yes, but not by much. Damn, saying that out loud makes me feel like I've done something terrible. Well done, Hisao. You've accomplished something that I've only ever failed at. Thanks. I haven't played in ages, so it felt good to play again. I used to play chess a lot. I haven't played it in years now, though. Yes, it did. Hanako fidgets with her hair a little and looks away as she replies, but a small smile emerges. It's a little more extreme of a reaction than I expected, but still kind of cute in that Hanako way. It throws me a little off guard, and only Yuko's cataclysmic re-entry shocks me back into conversation. Are you alright there, Yuko? Do you need a hand? I'm fine. I have to do this properly. It's my job. Concentration plays across her face while she stares at the tray in her hands, as if simply looking at its contents will hold them in place. Sadly, this doesn't prove all that effective. The cups and saucers slowly dance around, occasionally clattering as they collide with one another. Taking great care, Yuko sets the tray down on the table with only the subtlest of crashes. There, see? Well done? Thank you, Yuko. Yuko's head rockets downwards in her distinctive bow before answering. You're very welcome. Would you like to join us? There's something else I'd like to discuss about that recent order, if I may. That's right. Lily and Yuko were discussing a pile of books when I first met Hanako. Something about Lily helping with Braille. Yes, we didn't get the chance to go through them, did we? Oh, actually having a conversation with Yuko as part of the group? Normally Hisao's conversations with Yuko are all like one-on-one. Apparently her dedication to this job only goes as far as her concentration. Once it is broken, she suddenly loses it. I'll be in the library tomorrow afternoon if you'd like to try again. That sounds perfect. I'll meet you there after classes. Lily? Oh dear, that's right. But tomorrow is Monday. How could I have forgotten? I'm starting to feel a little left out of the loop here. Then again, that's to be expected. I have been here for barely a week, so it's impossible to know everyone's schedule. Well, perhaps we could come to some other arrangement. Yuko, will you be in the library later in the week? Maybe, but this is already overdue. There are things I need. This might be a problem. Lily ponders for a second before discovering the answer. I wonder, might we be able to enlist the help of another if need be? To do what? You lost me quite some time ago. being volunteered for something without even having the slightest idea what is going on isn't really my thing. And here I thought I had finally escaped the clutches of the student council and their repeated attempts to recruit me. Excuse me. Oh, of course. The other day I was helping Yuko sort the new Braille books in the library. But Hanako and I usually go shopping on Monday afternoons. It's quieter on that day than on weekends. Last week we couldn't go because I was busy with the festival. I managed to slip away later in the week, but Hanako couldn't make it. Well, since I can't read Braille, I'm assuming you'd like me to go shopping with Hanako? Correct. You were a great help to me the other day. I think I can handle that. Hanako, what do you think? If you wouldn't mind. Oh, of course not. I'm still not familiar with all the stores in this area, so it sounds like a good idea. Okay. Now that we have that arranged, shall we have some tea? It's now that I realize our tea has been sitting idly by all this time, getting no hotter. It's my fault. Let me pour that for you. Yuko reaches out with shaking hands, but I intercept her. She looks in no state to be handling hot liquids. It's alright, I've got it. Since you've already made the tea and sandwiches, you've fulfilled your waitress duties, right? I guess. Yuko relaxes a little, but still watches eagerly as I share out the assortment. Oh. Okay, that... was wondering what that was for a second. As I'm about to bite into the sandwich, a low rumble can be heard, along with a flash of light from outside. Ah, I take it the show has started. Only now, looking outside, I realize that dusk has come and gone, leaving us in the peak of twilight. Sparking traces arc upwards, ready to explode into floral shapes of fireworks. Let's go watch. Oh, sorry, Lily. Oh, please, don't miss the show on my account. From what I've heard, this isn't a bad location to watch them from. With the exception of Lily, we rush to the window of the small tea house to watch the show. The strobe of coloured lights plays across Hanako and Yuko's smiling faces, and for a second I forget to look out the window. In this totally new world, there are a few things that don't change. I think that's why the school makes such a fuss over this festival. It's a chance to show the similarities between everyone. The show is over all too quickly. Fireworks are expensive, even for the most well-funded schools. Before we return to our tea and sandwiches, Hanako turns to me. Thanks for today. And tomorrow. That's okay. I don't think that I could have faced those crowds either. On days like this, it's more relaxing to spend time away from everyone, don't you think? Yeah. Anyway, we've been delaying this tea for far too long now. Let's get back. One thing you should definitely do when finish orders is rewatch. Yeah, it probably wouldn't be bad, to just, see them again, knowing how the route goes out. Sure. We return to the booth and our light meal. That sounded impressive. Bigger than last year's, at least. Yeah, it was great. I've never seen them put on such a show. It gets better every year. I'm afraid, however, that during that time, the tea has gotten cold. Oh no, let me make some more. This is my fault. Calm down, Yuko. It's nobody's fault. I take a sip from my cup just to prove the point. This tea isn't too bad cool anyway. It's like an iced tea. Oh. See, from what I understand, tea is nice when it's hot, and it's nice when it's cold. It's when it's kind of that lukewarm room temperature that tea is kind of eh. Really? Yes, really. If you add a bit of sugar, it's kind of nice. Are you sure? I'm positive. Now, why don't you sit down and we'll finish this together? Okay. Yuko doesn't seem convinced, but sits down regardless. She carefully measures out about 5 teaspoons of sugar and adds them to her tea. I just said a bit of sugar. Yeah, 5 is a... I know, but I like my tea sweet anyway. Curiously, I peer into her cup. As expected, hardly any of the sugar dissolves into cold liquid. She stirs it twice before upturning the cup and drinking the contents, sugar and all, in a single mouthful. You're right. That's not bad at all. Good. I look back to Lily and Hanako, both of whom have finished their meal as I witnessed Yuko's personality in action. Not wanting to hold anyone up, I use her tactic and finish the remainder of my tea in a single swill. Oh, well then, it seems we're all finished. Should we head back now, or do we want seconds? Yuko's expression shows that this is quite clearly not a good idea. I think that it would be best if we got back soon. We do have to get back before curfew, after all. Oh, that is a good point. I'll meet you tomorrow, Yuko. I'll be looking forward to it, Lily. Goodbye, everyone. We make our way out of the small tea house and into the dark of the night. Lily and Hanako once again take point, but under the cover of darkness, Hanako seems slightly less stressed than she did on the trip here. We move against the occasional group of people emptying the school grounds, but Hanako seems to lead us along a few minor roads, avoiding the bulk of the crowd. Outside the dorms, the school seems strangely quiet when compared to the noise of the day. Sounds like he's being responsible. Just want to... Yeah, I can imagine just Yuko kind of like, please, if you guys leave, I can just close up the store. Well then, thank you both for today. I think I learned a lot. Oh, you're most welcome. But I'm afraid that I really must be going. Today's been a long day. Oh, that's right. Lily spent all of today on her feet, and I can imagine that walking outside of the school would be pretty tiring for her. I feel a pang of guilt as I remember that I was probably the only one in the school that got up around 10 this morning. Sure thing. Well, I'll see you both tomorrow. Good night. Good night, Hisao. Night. The girls return to their dorm, and I to mine. Actually, now that I consider it, today tired me out as well. Oh, is this the cutscene? Oh. Hide and seek. So, the route begins. My alarm blares into my ears, only to be swiftly silenced by my fist. My body switches into auto mode, carrying my subconscious self out of bed and into my uniform. As always, my bottle of pills sit on my desk patiently, waiting for me to take them and pick out my daily dosage of medicine. 17 pills a day. Before I know it, I'm opening the door to class 3-3. Glad to see that I'm not the only one who seems to be a little hungover from festival week. Every face in the classroom looks gaunt. With the festival now over, it's as if everyone's life dreams have been achieved. This seems okay. No, this is new. This just felt very familiar. With nothing left to live for, the students have relied on instincts alone to guide them to class. Or maybe I'm just reading too much into it. I slowly make my way to my seat, and it's only then that I realize why the room is so peaceful. The seats beside mine are blissfully empty. The world's loudest interpreter for the deaf has yet to arrive. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Just as I'm about to sit down, the door flies open, revealing a resplendent Misha, frills bobbing from the dramatic entrance and arms stretched towards the sky. Yahoo! It's all over! It would appear that not everyone is affected by the post-festival depression. The rest of the class glare at her, obviously thinking the same thing I am. Misha, still frozen in the doorway with her arms still in the air, nervously looks around. It's obvious that she senses the foul mood, but can't work out exactly what to do. Suddenly she jerks forward. Hey! As she stumbles into the classroom, she reveals Shizune, arms still extended from where she shoved Misha. Thanks for the entertainment, but shouldn't you two take your seats? Still slightly embarrassed, Misha takes a few seconds to realize she has to translate. Oh, yeah. Chichan says she's not happy with you ditching us last week. We were really busy. Is that so? What about the stuff I already did for you two? She says that only counts for council members. Since you declined, she doesn't owe you anything. Misha leans closer and whispers conspiratorially into my ear. Actually, I think she's just a little sore that you didn't spend a day with her. She's really thankful for your work last week, though. Sensing that she is being talked about, Shizune lightly wraps her fingers on her desk until Misha turns around to face her. I can't understand any of the fast-paced signing that's going on, but from Shizune's slightly embarrassed expression and Misha's poorly contained laughter, I can guess. While this exchange is happening, the door opens once again, but this time at a much more reasonable pace. Hanako quietly enters the room and pulls the door closed behind her. Peering out from under her hair, she quickly scans the classroom. Our eyes meet and she suddenly stiffens. She closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, and then walks over to my desk. Good morning, Hisao. Morning, Hanako. You're a little late, aren't you? I feel that someone's kind of got this kind of nervousness that you don't need to immediately bring to the forefront. Things like that. You're a little late, aren't you? I was talking to Lily. About today. Ah, so you've got her list then? We can leave straight after classes in that case. Sure. I'm looking forward to it. Hanako briefly flashes her embarrassed smile at me, then hurries off to her seat. During classes, it becomes apparent that it's not only the students that are a little despondent after the festival. Muto simply gives us a list of exercises from the textbook and then sits behind his desk. I totally forget about a brief lunch period for a moment, such as the banality of the day. It's mind-numbing, and everyone seems surprised when the bell signaled the end of the lessons. As I'm packing up my bags, Shizune and Misha flank and entrap me. Say, Hit-chan, it's still not too late to join up. There's a lot of post-festival paperwork for us to complete. Sorry, Misha, I've got plans. As if sensing the cue, Hanako appears behind me, holding a small bag, and trying to avoid contact with the outside world. Misha's eyes open wide, and then she bursts into laughter. You move fast, don't you, Hit-chan? We won't disturb your date any further. Behind a roaring Misha, I see Shizune taking far too little interest in the scene. I might be taking this the wrong way, but I think she's deliberately ignoring me. Is Shizune feeling sullied that I've left her till last? I feel a gentle tug on my shirt and turn to see Hanako's eyes fixed firmly on the floor. Let's gotcha. Shizune, Misha, I'll see you later. And I'm still not interested in the council. Spoil sport. Misha and Shizune retreat into the hallway, happily signing to each other. Got all your stuff? Let's head off. Floods of students pour out of the school gates and onto the road into town. It's a little weird. It's almost a scene from any other high school, but the illusion fades because of the occasional wheelchair or missing limb. One thing I do notice is that nobody is alone. And as Hanako and I pass through the gates, I notice that she closes the distance between us. Not enough to be considered close, but she certainly isn't at her usual, just a little far position. I guess we're not familiar enough for her to get as close as she does with Lily. However, even though she has moved a little closer to me physically, mentally she seems to have traveled a mile. Her hands clutched around the leather straps of her bag to the point of whitening her knuckles, her head down and her mouth pursed closed. She almost looks like she's been walked to the principal's office for the first time. I try to stifle a giggle at the thought, but it is futile. What's the matter? I guess there's no point in hiding it. Sorry, for a second there it looked like you were getting in trouble. What do you mean? I think you need to relax a little. We're not going too far, and it's only students around, right? Right. It bothers me a little to see Hanako so worked up. And you do this every week, don't you? Yes. With Lily. Of course, with Lily. I wonder, has she ever left the school without her? It doesn't seem like much at first glance, but Hanako's dependence on Lily is absurdly heavy. If she can't even handle leaving the school without her, how would she have managed to survive if the two had never met? Would she have found someone else to latch onto? And what drew her to Lily? Was it her lack of eyesight, or was Lily just kind enough to lend a hand? I wonder if anyone would have fit the bill. Well, I'm here. Besides, we're not going far. It'll be over before you know it. Hanako's knuckles slowly regain their color as she tries to hide a small smile, but the effort of that seems to prevent further conversation. We travel, side by side, down the winding road towards the town. The crowd of students thins as we continue along the sidewalk. The faster students rush ahead and the less mobile ones fall behind, rarefying the crowd into nothingness. By the time we reach the convenience store, we are practically alone. Using me as a shield between herself and the attendant, Hanako moves through the narrow aisles, adding an assortment of items to her basket. Bread, milk, tea, thyme? What kind of convenience store sells herbs? Then again, nothing about this town seems normal, which may not be such a bad thing in retrospect. Everything is so different and uncomfortable. Dwelling on such matters isn't really an option. When I think about it, it reminds me of Hanako. No matter how much you try, you can't escape her scars. They still interrupt my train of thought when I see them. I guess what her condition is that she attends Yama? Oh, is it not? Is it not to do with her scarring? As it was mentioned in Lily's that it was a fire, wasn't it? Okay. See, now you got me curious now. Like, is it for a different reason that she attends Yamaku? It's hard to say at the moment. I don't feel I have quite enough information. As much as I don't want to admit it to myself, I think I'm forcing myself to try to ignore them. Not that I'm scar-free myself. The jagged line down my sternum will never completely fade away. I just have the luxury of being able to hide it easily. But in a way, both of our scars remind me that we're all in this place for a reason. Hanako throws one last item into her basket and sheepishly holds it out to me along with a few banknotes. Could you... please? It takes me a second to understand what she's trying to say. Oh, you want me to pay for this? She nods but doesn't look up. I guess this task falls to Lily on the usual occasions. Sure, let me just grab a couple things. Hastily, I grab a few essential items for myself and head for the counter with Hanako in close tow. The attendant gives me an indifferent nod as he scans in the items. I suppose just ignoring us is one way to deal with the anomalies of Yamaku. They must get a lot of students here, being the closest store to the school. The staff must all have their own way of dealing with us, or maybe they don't. Maybe it's only me who thinks twice about my unique schoolmates. Our transaction complete, Hanako and I head back out onto the street. The road is pretty much abandoned now. The students that were heading out have already left, and nobody has started returning just yet. And with only the school ahead on the road, there doesn't seem to be anyone else around. The emptiness certainly reflects on Hanako. Her arms by her sides, each carrying a bag, her head no longer bowed and back to the upright position. It's almost as if she were enjoying this walk. So, why all these weird things? Mixed spice? Why would you need that in school? I sometimes like to make food. Well, yes, so do I, but spices? Hisao, do you not like adding flavor to your food? Oh, hi Kendi, welcome to the stream. That's a little more advanced, don't you think? Is it advanced? No. It does something like quite regularly, like even if it's just like one of those little things you can get of like mixed herbs. Like have a little sprinkle of that on dishes. But no, not an Englishman. Yeah, I think like it's something I kind of want to learn a bit more. Is like what herbs and spices go well with what. Because I definitely much prefer food that has a little bit of spice or like extra flavor to it. It's just trying to figure out like what works with what. Not really. Well, I think it's cool. You'll have to teach me one day. Sure. She doesn't seem all that sure, but pushing the point doesn't seem all that wise. At the very least, she seems a great deal happier than she did on the walk down here. That alone makes me a little happier. Outside the girls' dorm, Hanako and I sort out the grocery bags of our respective purchases. Paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, go most meats. Except seafood. Oh, yeah, but to be fair, I'm not as big on seafood as I would be. To be fair, I'm more interested in seafood than I am. No, I know I quite like adding like a little bit of paprika to like potato as well. Like if I'm like baking chips or potato wedges. Italian seasoning, garlic, salt. Well, so, yeah, salt and pepper are kind of the definite go-tos. And then I have like one of those little glass bottles of just like mixed herbs, which I tend to add like if I'm having like pasta or rice or something. In comparison, my things look positively plain. You know, old bay man, you know? Bailey. Bailey? Oh, I think my grandmother uses bay leaves a lot in her cooking. Like, she'll often add some in, like, to any, like, meat she's stewing. I tell you, you're putting me to shame here. No, I'm not. I'm only joking. Not American. Yep, nope, I am not American. I am British. Over here in the UK, innit? I have a stack of homework that I skipped last week, so I must leave now. Will you be alright getting that to your room? Yeah. Sure? Okay then. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. We part ways and I return to my room. Piles of papers sit upon my desk, begging to be completed. With the entire ruckus of the last week, I've barely had any time to catch up. I tried to keep up with my studies while I was in the hospital, but some of this stuff I've never seen before. Excuse me? Even back in my old school. Totally unprepared, I pop the top on a can of drink and get to work. I think I can manage one more scene, but I'm starting to feel it in my throat. It's Maryland spice blend used on seafood with common crabs. What's good for chicken and potato? Oh, well, if something's good on chicken and potatoes, that's... Chicken and potatoes would be fairly common parts of my menu. The days are really starting to heat up. This morning I awoke covered in sweat. By the time the student body starts leaving their dorms for breakfast and morning duties, the sun has taken full effect. Oddly, that puts me in high spirits. It's not even 8, yet I feel that this day is going to be one of those pleasant, tranquil, warm ones. If I weren't at a school that considered every absence from class as a sign of a life-threatening situation, I'd consider skipping the whole day and just relaxing in the school gardens. Yes, today will be a genuinely lazy day. Weren't you just saying like last night that you had like a bunch of stuff to catch up on? For a second, I stop in mid-stretch and consider the nurse's warning about exercise. Maybe I should have kept up those more. Maybe you should, Hisao. Running with someone like Emmy might have been a little testing, but if I worked at my own pace, yes, do that. You don't have to compete with Emmy, but you can still do your jogs. Who am I kidding? I couldn't stick to something like that without some kind of motivation. Maybe not dying. Can that not motivate you, Hisao? It's not like I sit around all day. The walk to and from the convenience store counts as exercise, right? Especially to walk back up the hill. Hisao. We saw too much of it in Lily's route. You're not taking good enough care of yourself. Yeah, it's no big deal. It's a big deal. Compared to months lying in a hospital bed, I'm getting plenty of exercise. It seems that I'm not alone in my appreciation of the day. Nearly every member of the class is glancing through the window and into the tantalizing sky. Ironically, each heart attack was caused by... Oh. Most are relegated to East Coast, it's not super common on West Coast. Also use them Bloody Marys. Well, to be fair, I don't really drink much at all. And yeah, I've only got experience of the West Coast. Even the steadfast Shizune seems to lack her usual vigor for schoolwork. Misha, as brazen as ever, has even unbuttoned the top buttons of her shirt and is fanning herself with a notebook. I must have been staring, as she's now sticking her tongue out at me. However, she shows no signs of holding her efforts, nor is she trying to hide the fact. The lunch bells seem to catch everyone by surprise, and the class empties at a much slower pace than usual. The heat seems to be draining the need to rush from everyone. Well, almost everyone. Hisao? Hey there, Hanako. What can I do for you today? Hanako already has a lunch bag in hand. I don't have to be a detective to work out where this is going. Would you like to have lunch with us again? I brought enough for everyone. Awesome. You don't have to be so stiff about it, though. Right. Okay, this is Hisao does. I'm still, especially after how he was in Rin's Route. I'm a little nervous about Hisao with Hanako. First time was to walk, second was running, second time third was running after her in the path. Oh yeah. The first time I don't know if you can really blame Lily. Yeah, I wouldn't say she's the cause. Maybe during the second time. But the first one, oh, like that. The first one I blame on Hisao not doing his exercise, because it wasn't an intensive walk they were doing. It was just like a casual like stroll into town. It wasn't her idea. It might have been her idea, but still, if Hisao could have done better. That should not have been an intense enough exercise. We've seen how well he can manage it in Emmy's route. I take it we're going to the tea room? Oh, wait. Sorry, I was in the middle of another thought. But yeah, Hisao had said it like yesterday in this, but when like immediately kind of as, oh, Hanako, you're late today. And then, oh, no, don't skip mode. And then just you don't have to be so stiff about it. Like when, I don't know, this is coming from my own experience, like with social anxiety. And no, it's like when I get like it's coming from a good place, but it's also like it can come across as like being like feeling like the flaws in your social interaction are being like brought up and like drawn attention to. It's very little things and it's understandable, but at the same time I'm kind of like. Oh, it's like someone who like struggles to be in like social situations and maybe like finally joins in for family dinner and the response is kind of, oh, look who finally decided to join us. Like it sounds like a light-hearted comment, but to the person hearing it is kind of like yep, they're paying attention to the fact I'm not normally here. But I'm overthinking things already. Oh, and this game feels like it's already conditioned me to expect the worst of Hisao sometimes. Please. Lily said she'll meet us in there, so we should should go ahead together. Sounds like a plan. This heat has made me pretty hungry. Emmy's right when he's yeah, I know Emmy's right when he's at his most fit, but it does demonstrate like how well he can manage his condition. No, and if we can manage enough to do like regular like proper running. At your parents visiting recently, at some point you just want them to know. Yeah, no, I kind of can get that with family. Like sometimes you don't want to say anything, but sometimes you just kind of need your own space. No, but it's kind of at the same time like quite hard to kind of go like to tell someone like that respectfully, kind of like I love you and I care about you, but I just can't deal with you here right now. I need alone time. So I'm fortunate I have family who have grown to like understand that about me. That they don't get too offended when I need to say sorry. I just need to not be around you for a bit. Hanako breathes a sigh of relief, and I gather my things together. As usual, the aura of the tea room is refreshing, feeling isolated from the rest of the world. And then again, the usual din of the school seems to be a bit subdued, most likely from laziness promoted by heat exhaustion. Hanako slowly spreads her foot on the table, intently focusing on every little movement, as if she's trying to keep her mind off other thoughts. It's not too much. It's not much, but I can tell from her demeanor that she has prepared everything with utmost care. I guess Lily isn't here yet. Should we start without her? She'll be here soon. Hanako struggles with the lid of the container of rice. Here, let me help with that. I take the container from Hanako's hands and try to force open the lid. Oh, is this gonna be the... Try as I might, it seems wedged shut. Oh, let me guess. Did you put this in while the rice was still hot? Yes, I was in a rush. I put the container on the table between us. I thought so. It looks like this is wedged shut. We'll need some hot water to get it open. But that could be a pain in here. We'd get water everywhere. Well, in that case, how about I contribute to today's meal? At the door, Lily smiles while holding up a bag stocked with various buns and bread rolls. I can't help but do the same. Since you two had a change of plans because of me, I thought I would bring a little something. Thanks, Lily. Here, let me get that for you. With a little guidance, Lily's bread assortment joins Hanako's riceless platter. I hastily make some tea to complete the picture. Well, I'm looking forward to this. As I take a bite, I notice Hanako trying her hardest to not look like she is looking at me. It's nothing special, but then again, I can't really complain. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to cooking for myself. Not bad. I guess this is made of the stuff you bought yesterday? Yes. Hanako's eyes shout at me, begging for some kind of feedback. Well, it was clearly worth it. Thanks, Hanako. I wanted to show you this after yesterday. It's okay. I was just a little surprised at the stuff you were buying. Hanako's always liked to experiment when it comes to food. I think it's good most of the time. While Lily's smile doesn't waver, the slight change in her tone tells me that things have not gone so well in the past. And it's not like Hanako has had many people to sample her cooking. At least she's improving. That's more than can be said for Yukiko in Persona. Hang on, was Lily waiting for me to go first? She didn't start eating until after I said it was alright. Her cheeky grin tells me that this was a deliberate action on her part. I'll have to try and work out how to get one over her in the future to make up for this. Well, it's good. That's all that counts, right? Right. Lily, satisfied at not being the first to sample Hanako's creation, begins to consume the food in front of her. I find myself staring as I watch her chopsticks gently touch the plate, their tips delicately poking and tracing to quickly ascertain the positions of the food as she dexterously picks it up. One might think she were a child playing with her food if not for the situation, though she does it with such care and faultlessness that it's obvious this is simply how she eats this kind of meal. Not wanting to miss out, I start filling up myself. Hanako takes a different approach, waiting until Lily and I have our hands clear before quickly snatching up her share. Before long, the containers are empty, save for the still shut rice container. Thank you, Hanako. That was filling. No, thank you for the bread. Yeah, it would have been a disaster if not for that. You're both welcome. But now I must be getting back. It's far too easy to be late after eating here. Yeah, I see what you mean. I think we'll just clean up here, then head off. Well then, good day. Lily leaves, her cane tapping away down the quiet hallway. Hanako and I quickly pack our things and stay seated, waiting for the bell. Together we stare out the window and into the endless azure sky. If it weren't for the pealing of the bells, I would have sworn that time had stopped. Excuse me. The urge to skip class rises in my gut. I shoot a glance at Hanako, who shows no signs of moving either. Not just yet. The interval between the warning bells and the end of lunch bells passes in the blink of an eye. We really should go. People will freak out and start a search party if we skip. Hanako sighs. You're right. Slowly, she rises to her feet, and I follow suit. Silently, we make our way up the old stairs to the third floor, and then to our classroom. At the door, I take point and open the door ahead of Hanako, bowing my head down in apology in advance. I'm sorry we're late, teacher. I'm greeted not by stern words nor by an angered instruction to take my seat, but simply by the silence created by 15 or so students trying not to laugh. Muto, ever tardy, has yet to arrive. However, the fact that Hanako and I have arrived together is blatantly obvious. Okay, made at about 14 students trying and 1 student failing. The lovers return! Yeah, thanks. You can calm down now. I step through the door and realize that Hanako is firmly pressed against my back, hiding herself from the class. With my steps coming closer to my desk, she eventually breaks from me and stiffly walks to her own. Her efforts to mentally block everyone's presence from her mind are written fairly clearly on her face. Oh. Quickly checking the door for any signs of the teacher's arrival, I make a trip to Hanako's desk and whisper in her ear. Don't worry about Misha. She's always like this. I enjoyed myself today. Don't sweat it, okay? Hanako nods her head behind her folded arms, but still doesn't show her face. I yearn to stay and console her more, but Muto picks this exact moment to enter the class, halfway through his lecture, as if he started it in the hallway. Which, of course, is directly proportional to the charge, but inversely proportionally to the square of the distance. He's so engrossed in his speech that he doesn't even notice me sneaking back into my seat from Hanako's desk. While Muto's spiel rambles on, Misha leans over to me. The teacher may not have noticed your tardiness, but I did. That much is obvious from the show you just put on. I have been instructed to let you off the hook for today, but only on one condition. Oh, and what would that be? You have to help us this afternoon. I crane my neck to look over Misha's shoulder. Jizune is conveniently not making eye contact with me. Fine, just for today. I've already told you I'm not joining the council, remember? Of course, doing so could be considered... She looks down at her notebook, obviously looking for her place in the script,
under duress, and hence would be against regulations.
Very strange of you to be considerate of the regulations now.
Things should be done by the book. It's just that the book hasn't been written for every situation, so there are times when it can be ignored.
And yet, you two wonder why no one else wants to be in the student council. After poking her tongue out at me, Misha returns to her workbook, and we battle our way through the latter half of the school day. Before I can even stand up, Misha and Shizune have placed their hands on both my shoulders. Hey, I said I'd help out. Damn.
This is just insurance, Hisao. Insurance.
Hisao? Hanako timidly tries to leave the room by circling around us, and I suddenly realize that this may be my one chance to escape. Oh, hey Hanako, what's up?
Hey, what makes you think you've got time to chat?
Oh, relax, this won't take long. Sorry, Hanako, you were saying?
I was going to go to the library and I thought...
Hanako's thumbs dance around each other and her eyes flit around her room, looking everywhere but at us.
Sorry, Hanako, but Hisao has to come with us. He's got work to do. Oh, but you can help too if you'd like. So, how about it, Hisao?
Oh, a choice already. Part of me feels it should be the I've done enough work for the council already. Because I feel like I kind of like do want to like ask like Hanako like for her opinion. Oh, involve her? Okay, I was just wondering if involving her was maybe a bad idea because like I wonder if like she'd find it hard to stand up to someone as like the people as like strong-headed as Shizune and Misha. Okay. So I kind of thought like putting that on her would make it hard for her to like say what she really wants to do. What do you say, Hanako? If we all help, it shouldn't take long at all. Hanako's fidgeting answers my question before she can even form the words.
I really need to go.
Well, that was to be expected. Looks like it's just me and the council girls again. It's easier to resign myself to another afternoon's work in the small council office. I'll catch up with you later, okay?
Okay. Right, now that the farewells are over, it's work time.
Misha and Shizune frog march me to the student council office, never once letting go of my shoulders. I feel a little bad for ditching Hanako like this, but if this is the price of getting Misha off her back, so be it. So then, what are we up to today?
Debrief.
Isn't that supposed to happen after something?
Yep, we have to collate all of the information from the festival so that Shichan can debrief the teachers.
Shizune drops a large pile of paperwork on the desk in front of me and smiles succinctly.
You need to sort these out into 2 piles. One for financial stuff like receipts, one for feedback, one for positive feedback, and maybe one for things that look like they could be problems next year, one for problems that probably won't be able to be fixed.
This is more than 2, Misha. That's a few more than 2 piles.
Huh? Oh, right. Yeah, I thought it would only be 2 piles. My bad.
Right. While I'm doing this, what will you two be doing?
Well, we missed lunch because we were collecting all of these reports, so we're going to go get some food.
Why didn't you just sort them out while you were collecting them? Thankfully, my self-defense mechanism kicks in and prevents me from opening my mouth and further worsening my situation. That's not your self-defense mechanism, that's your self-preservation instinct.
Eh? How is that fair?
I was fretting over the unfair distribution of work so much that I didn't notice that Shizune had kept on signing. If it weren't for Misha's outburst, I probably wouldn't have noticed at all.
Shizune seems to be delivering a fairly long string of commands to Misha, and none of them look pleasant. Can't be mindful of some, but also ask for their opinion. Or yeah. Yeah, that's what I just felt it. Oh, with Misha and Shizune being present. No, I feel there would have been that pressure on Hanako to like not like clearly it was fine because she was able to say herself kind of like, I don't think I can help. No. I'm trying to think of how to like word what was going on in my head. Makes sense. I'm trying to think of it like another like hypothetical to kind of explain my thinking. I can't think of anything at the moment. Oh. Reaching a conclusion, Misha signs briefly back to Shizune, and then sits down at the desk next to me. Shizune waves to the both of us before disappearing out the door. What was all that about? Shit-chan was worried that you'd get it all wrong unless you're supervised. And since she can't tell you how you're messing things up, she's making me stay. Better than someone approaching you now later being I just came back from this place, I knew you wouldn't want. No. I suppose, but whatever. Still nice. Yeah, I think where my brain's thinking though is like it's nice to ask, but like as long as you know like their response is going to be their own response. Like if it had just been like if Misha and Shizune had gone on ahead and Hisa was just to follow after them, like then definitely. Because then I feel like he could be more confident of just getting Hanako's response, rather than like maybe feel like she's being pressured because there's 3 people all looking at her to respond in a particular way. Like if it's yeah, my problem isn't with the like asking her, like with like not asking her for her opinion. It's with putting her in a position, like in that situation, it feels like you're putting pressure on her to answer in a certain way. Oh, bummer. I wanted to go with Shit-chan. But she is going to bring us back some food. How good is that? Misha's flippancy is out of this world. From down in the dumps to on top of the world over some calories. It's hard to imagine how anyone could operate at that level. Well, it could have been worse. So, what are we supposed to be doing? Collation. I gathered that. Well, let's just start making piles. We'll work out what the piles mean later. Right. We start to separate all of the papers into increasingly complex piles. At first, it's just simple categories: financial, feedback, instant reports. Then they split apart into the good and bad reports, and further still until it starts to look like we've just thrown the papers onto the desk. This is hopeless. Huh? Why? We're doing what we were told, right? Yes, but it looks like we're just making a mess. No, I think we got a lot done. Chit-chan will be able to work out the rest from here. So I think we can stop about here then. Right, we're thinking it was a small group, just a 4. No. I probably am overthinking it, but it's when it's a small group of 4 and it feels like it's kind of in a free on one situation. Because it seemed like even from Hisao's response that like his hope was that Hanako would join him. And I'm just thinking as well of like Misha and Shizune's personalities feel like they'd be the type who like overbearing enough that Hanako might struggle to hold her ground against them. But no, you know me, I overthink things like this. It's almost as if Misha's common sense left the room with Shizune. Still, there's no point in arguing. It seems like Hanako has a good... Yeah, like that. That's what I'm saying. Like like I said, my worry was unfounded. Like Hanako was able to just say kind of, nope, I'm sorry, I've got other stuff to do. Anyway, what's the deal with you and Hanako? Deal? You were hanging out with her today, weren't you? Have there been any fireworks? Any gossip that you're withholding from me? If I told you about my own circumstances, it wouldn't be gossip, would it? I guess not. Just friends, I guess. Why are you so interested? I thought you and Shizune didn't like her. It's not really like that. You know that Chit-chan and Lily don't get along well. And since you can't really get Hanako away from Lily, we don't talk to her much. But that doesn't mean I can't be concerned for her. What is there to be concerned about? Well, she never hangs out with anyone else, right? It's no good, Hit-chan. If Shizune and Lily dislike each other because their personalities are different, then I hate to think how Misha and Hanako would get along. Except from Lily's route, we already know that Shizune and Lily's dislike is not just a matter of personality. I mean, in one way or the other, we're all in the same boat here, right? Well, I guess. This one time, when she left the class halfway through, Chit-chan went to the teacher and asked what was going to be done about it. He said that every student here has special needs and that Chit-chan shouldn't worry herself about it. Hanako never does any group work, she just runs off. Isn't that enough to be concerned about? I guess you're right. She still hardly says a word when we're talking. Well, that's more than I've been able to do. Chit-chan and I both tried when she started, but she got scared and ran off. I consider telling Misha that exactly the same thing happened with me, but she seems caught up in thought. Listening to Misha without Shizune's influence is interesting. I think she needs to realize that people here don't care what she looks like, and that she can trust us. If she could, I'd feel a lot better about her. I think this is the longest I've watched Misha without seeing her sign. When she's with Shizune, she is constantly waving her hands about, explaining the world to Shizune. That amount of effort probably places a strain even on an agile mind. And let's face it, Misha isn't the world's brightest spark. Hisao, you can be a little rude sometimes. Well, I'll keep an eye on her for you. But You should probably apologize for earlier. I don't think Hanako was cut out for that kind of joke. Oh. Oh? Oh. I didn't even notice. Sorry. Don't say it to me, just mention it to her. Alright, first thing tomorrow I'll speak to her. Good. A cacophony from the door heralds the return of Shizune. I guess she can't really tell how much noise she is making. Oh, Shichan, you're back! Shizune appears, completely laden with goods from the convenience store. Misha is oblivious, so she doesn't have a mean. Yeah. There was some surplus left from the festival. Since this is officially festival business, I've splurged a little. Nice idea, Shichan. 10 points. Is that really allowed? For someone who refuses to join us, you seem to take an unhealthy interest in the politics of this council. I shall punish your insolence by rationing your portion of the feast. Fine, fine, I get it. Misha slides the multiple stacks of paper to one side to make room for the avalanche of food Shizune is spreading out. As I watch my hard yet misdirected work become wasted, I realize that it's little wonder why these two need help. The convenience store meal isn't overly tasty, but at the very least it's filling. Thanks for helping today. Most of the time we just make up the reports for the staff. This year we can at least make up some relevant headings on the debrief. Are you sure this isn't a corrupt organization? Not at all, not at all. We're by the book. It's not our fault if the book isn't specific enough. I thought that was the definition of corruption. You think too much. You know what? You're probably right. Anyway, I must be off. That is, if I'm allowed to leave. Your work has been deemed sufficient. You may leave. Well, thank you. You know, if you stress the free meal side of things over the endless workload side, you'd probably end up with more recruits. You might just have a point. Well, think about it. And think about what we talk about. You don't have to tell that to Shizune if you don't want. What? Oh, right. I'll try to see her tomorrow. Good night, Hitchan. Night, Misha. Shizune. Okay, so is that a encounter we're going to see? I think that might have to be me for tonight. My throat is... No. Oh, yeah, this isn't... All this talking is getting to my throat. I will put a save down. Rise and shine. I don't think Shizune would approve. No, look. Some people need a bit of a carrot to get them doing things. Oh, no, it's good to be back in this. No. I'm still a little nervous about... All the routes so far have had kind of moments where things have gotten pretty tense. And I'm a little worried about Hanako. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with some Monster Hunter. Getting back into that and probably struggling as I try and remember the controls for the game. And yeah, then some more Katawa Shoujo on Thursday. And Hanaka's route goes bad, it goes really... Yeah! I'm not looking forward to that. But yeah, as usual, my schedule for my streams, that's all up on my Discord. Links to that in my Twitch and YouTube. And yeah. Until the next time I see you, I'll just say thanks for coming along. I do hope you enjoyed. And until next time, have a good day, have a good evening, and goodbye.